Hey guys, Ernie here and welcome to the Paleo Hiker MD channel. Stove reviews here on the channel aren't just about small compact canister stoves or even remote canister stoves. I like all kinds of stoves and we like to review them all here on the channel. Although you can always use a compact canister stove at home during an emergency, I think it's important to have a couple of larger stoves, preferably butane stoves because they're easier to get gas for and cheaper to get gas for, that will help you cook for your family in an emergency if the power's out, for example. It's always nice to have one or two of these options around, but what if you don't have enough room to store these big clunky stoves? Let me show you guys what I found. Snow Peak is a company out of Japan that is no stranger to our channel. We've reviewed pots, pans, and stoves from them before, and that's what they're probably most known for. But they also make larger scale stoves like this, the GS-600 home burner. This is the stove itself. You can see it comes in a very nice little form factor. Dimensions closed like this are 5.4 by 4.5 by 11, so it's 11 inches long. It's a pretty hefty 3.5 pounds. It's pretty heavy, heavier than you would think really. It's designed in Japan, but it is made in Korea. It works off of standard butane canisters like this one you have around the house. It does have a built-in piezo igniter, which I'll show you here in a second, and the price is $110. So we're gonna open this up and you'll just pop this out like this. Important thing, underneath here, okay, there are these little detents. You see this little detent right here? You're gonna push that and it's gonna flip around, but one important thing is you've got to pull these out like that, okay? Then you find that little detent, which I just grabbed. You flip this all the way around. You open this up, and there's your stove. Barely fits on here. We're gonna show this, I'm gonna pop this in. One cool thing is, it pops in very easily. You just push it in, okay, and it's locked. Pull it out, you just pull it out. If it happens to be on, okay, which it's on right now, it will not go in. It will not allow it to pop in. So you have to have it off, and it will pop right in, and then you close this up just like that. That was loud. Here's our stove. Dimensions like this are 11.8 by 13.6 by 4.7. You can see the front right here, okay, all the way around. Nice little look. Very nice and strong pot stands, okay, and a very nice and strong burner on the inside. You can see the controls right over here. Okay, I'll show you how it turns on here in a second. We'll get the lights down. I got this Lazy Susan from my dad. I thought this is an absolutely perfect use for it. Very well made. You can see that it has a little shield here, which protects, I don't know if you can see that. There you go. You can see the little shield here protects the area where the canister is. Having this canister covered up is nice and safe as well. It does have, like I said, a piezo igniter. There's no separate area to actually activate it. It just activates whenever you turn it on. I'll show you real quick. Can't see it real well. Let me turn off the lights and give you guys a good look here. All right, so we'll turn it on. You just turn it, you'll hear it start to release the gas, and then you just click it all the way and adjust the flame. There's the gas, there's the flame. Show you guys a close-up of the flame. So there's your flame on high. You have extremely good control, which is something that's really nice about these butane canisters. You can see it's super low right there. Can bring it even lower. That's about as low as it'll go without going out. Doesn't seem like a big flame, but I can tell you guys, it is super hot, and I have used it to cook several meals. We're going to use it to cook a meal here in a little bit, and it is effective. Super, super nice. There is your flame. Like I said, we're not going to do any boil testing for this bad boy. You would use it, I think, to cook a dinner in an emergency situation, for example. So we're going to cook some dinner, a little Puerto Rican food here. It's called bistec encebollado, which is a meat with onions, and then we're going to fry up some plantains or tostones. To make these tostones, basically, it's plantains. These are non-ripe plantains, okay? That's super bright. Non-ripe plantains. And normally you would cut them into chunks, fry them, smush them, and fry them again. I try to stick to just one fry, so I'll actually cook it in the microwave for about 2 or 3 minutes, then cut it into chunks and smush it. We're gonna fry these in some coconut oil. You can see that this is a fairly small diameter pan and it fits this just fine. So we're gonna get this going. We're gonna put it on fairly high so that we can get this melted. Normally you deep fry these, so I actually have it so where I kind of pan fry them. I'll move this forward a little bit for y'all. All right, we're getting close. One of the key things with tostones is you don't want to cook them too fast because they end up burning. So what we're going to do now is turn this down to about medium, and we can always adjust it. You'll just put these in, all right? Should have just enough room for 5. Usually I'll get 5 out of a decent sized plantain. There we go, just like that. I'm going to turn it down. Again, you want them to cook at first a little slow so that you don't burn them. This isn't a cooking channel. We are, of course, just showing you the capabilities of this stove. But if you want to make this really authentic, the only thing you can eat with tostones is mayo ketchup. So you just take mayonnaise, ketchup, about even amounts, throw in a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, mix that up, and you've got the perfect condiment for your tostones. All right, I like to flip these twice, so you'll see they're starting to get nice and crispy on the bottom. Now, in my household, and my kids, they like tostones to be super crispy. So we're gonna let these cook a good while to get nice and crispy. That's one flip, and I will bring you back when it's time for another flip. I would say we probably went about 3 minutes, and now we're probably gonna go about another 3-4 minutes, and we'll see how it looks. These are getting cooked nicely. I want them to crisp up a little more, so I'm going to turn the heat up. You know what, while we're doing this, let me show you a little view of the flame on the bottom of the pot. Didn't take long. You'll see what we got. Starting to crisp up nicely. And that's just from increasing. You want to make sure they're cooked really good. And then if you like them crispy, which again we do, some people do not like them as crispy. We do. And you just get them. And now it'll literally be about a minute on this side. Once you get to this stage, guys, be careful because they will burn super fast. Just get yourself a plate with a paper towel. And I'll show you something super important with tostones. And that's going to be that you want to put salt on them as soon as possible when you pull them out. All right, so we're going to get these out. Oh man, that's what I'm talking about. Right when you get those out, salt them up. Most of that salt will come off, so the salt police don't need to freak out. So good. Oh my god. So good. Let me get ready to make the beef. Okay, we're going to use a little bit of a larger pot. Let me show you guys real quick. What you want to do is get an onion, chop it up, put it in here. You want to use something called adobo. Hold on. You want to use this Goya adobo. All right. This is the key to the right flavor. And then you want to throw in a little bit of vinegar, and you want to let it sit for about 30 minutes, and that's what we've done. All right. We're going to put this up here. Get our flame going. Put it on just above medium heat. Okay. What we're going to do is cook our meat first. So put some olive oil in there, let it get nice and warm, and we'll just pull our meat out. And again, guys, the point of this video isn't so much cooking, although I'm showing you how to cook this. It's about being able to cook with this stove right here on this cooktop without any problem at all. Y'all saw that I did deep frying. It was able to maintain heat with no problem. I popped those in there. They were cold, no issues at all. Now we're gonna get this meat and we're gonna cook it off. And this is thinly sliced, so you will be able to cook it pretty quickly. I'm going to turn the heat up. I want this to really be high, and it should take maybe a minute and a half on each side, and it'll be nice and charred up. Again, this is all about cooking with this stove. And it is absolutely cooking this meat super fast, very easily. Put 5 big chunks of meat in there, not bringing the temperature down because I'm able to keep it up because of the strength of the burner itself. Very, very impressed with this burner. Flip these over. I like to, again, get them cooked pretty well. And then try to get some browning on them because they do taste best when they're a little bit, you know, crispy and burnt, you might say. This is not on high. This is on medium heat. Okay, if we crank it up, which we will here in a second, try to get some of that burnt action. We're gonna do it right now. I'm gonna flip these over. I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit, and we gotta watch right now because they will cook up pretty quickly, but I, like I said, like to get them nice and brown, kind of like this one is over here. All right, quick flip. It's looking pretty good. All right, we're gonna get these out. Next we're gonna saute our onions. I'm gonna turn the heat down just a little bit. You can see that this thing brings the heat, guys. Starting to get some brown. I'm gonna turn this down so that we don't burn our onions at all. You can cook them as much as you want. I tend to like mine burnt kind of like this or crispy, and then I don't cook them all the way through. I don't want them to be like soggy. I like my onions to be a little bit firm, at least with this particular dish. We got that cooked right about where I want it. I'm gonna throw my meat back in. Let's warm everything through. Now this is normally where we would move the camera and gather to talk about this stove and talk about some pros and cons, and we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that after I eat dinner. So let me show you guys what everything looks like. I'm gonna eat, and then we will talk about this stove. So that is a look at this awesome stove from Snow Peak. I think you guys can see that it's very versatile, so let's talk some pros and cons. As far as pros go, it's compact, it's a very stable platform. I really like the design and the stability of the pot stands. It's excellent quality, it has great flame control, and as I mentioned earlier, it runs off standard butane canisters. These are much, much cheaper than the propane canisters, especially now. It is crazy how expensive these little 1 gallon tanks of propane are, and you can still get the butane pretty cheaply. As far as cons go, it can be a little bit fiddly to open and close. You have to get used to it. It's pretty heavy at 3.5 pounds, and it's pretty pricey at $110. If you're looking for a stove like this and want something a little bit cheaper, I have a video on the Gas One GS-600. Make sure you check it down below. It's about $50. But I'll tell you, it does not work nearly as well as this stove does. The performance of the Gas One just doesn't meet up. The quality of construction doesn't meet up. When I first got this stove and I opened it up and I thought, man, this cannot be worth $110. And I didn't think that smaller diameter burner would really get the job done. I thought it would concentrate the heat just in the center of the pot. But if you look at it, it kind of comes out and around. It doesn't just go straight up. The way they've designed the burner, it goes out and around, and it really distributes the heat super well. I strongly believe that every home in America should have 1 or 2 butane canister stoves. We never know when the power is going to go out. We can't rely on electricity always being there. Sometimes we can't crank up, for example, a barbecue grill or something. A lot of us live in cities where you can't have grills. This is safe to use inside. It's used at many restaurants, and it's very safe to use inside. If you're looking for something to use in an emergency, this is the perfect type of stove. If you have a camper that doesn't have a good burner, if you have a tiny house and you want something that will work really well, this is the best stove that I've used so far, and we are going to be looking at more in-home emergency type stoves like this on the channel over the next year. But so far, this is the best one that I've found as far as distributing heat and allowing me to cook pretty much the way I cook on a normal basis. This stove is a little pricey and maybe a little overcomplicated, but it gets the job done and it does not take up too much room in your kitchen cabinets. Not sure if you guys are aware, but I have an entire playlist on stoves. I'll make sure to leave a link down below. I have over 100 videos on different types of stoves down there, so check them out. Do me a favor, guys, if you like the video, it's super important that you hit that thumbs up down below. Really helps spread things across YouTube, helps my channel grow, and I am excited about the continued growth of the channel overall. Make sure you hit that thumbs up down below. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscription button. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any videos, hit that little ding dong bell, the notification bell, and you'll be the first to know. Really appreciate you guys checking out the video today. I really like this stove. I was a little on the fence spending the money, but I'm glad I did because I do think it's worth the money. And I think anybody who picks up this stove will be happy that they did. As always, guys, I appreciate you checking out the Paleo Hiker MD channel. Stay tuned for more videos soon.